bladesmiths. On the tables in front of you are 4 rifles. Don't worry, we're not having you forge any firearms today. Your first round challenge is to forge the blade of a bayonet that will fit on these rifles.
I've never attempted to try to make a bayonet, so I'm gonna wing it the best I can.
On the anvils in front of you, you see a cloth. Each one of you go ahead and lift that up. The blade of your bayonet must be forged from that piece of spring steel. Your 3-hour forging time starts now.
All right.
Looking at the steel, that's just way too much steel to make a blade. I can probably make 2 or 3 blades out of that thing.
So Matt is chopping it up on the chop saw. He's got pieces in the forge.
This piece of material is used to being a spring, not being a blade. So you got to get it out of that form. Well, if you get the metal hot enough, you'll get that reaction.
There we go.
Mechanical advantage.
Just want to get it straightened out real quick. Coming to the hammer.
So I'm going to the power hammer. I've never worked with it before, so it's probably gonna be a love-hate relationship. It's like, you know, first date. Hey, how you doing?
I work somewhat intuitively. I'm definitely letting the material that I'm working with speak to me.
My plan for this round is to straighten this steel out, get it under the power hammer, get it shaped.
I was a 90s kid. Ninjas were big. I guess it switched from cowboys to like ninjas and samurai. And my dad was into martial arts, and we watched martial arts movies, so I think the blade was a part of culture at the time for me.
Design that Scott's decided to go with. A Chris putting all these waves. Now, he needs to make sure that he aligns the spine where it's true, because if you make too many waves that don't align, it's like an accordion for a thrusting test.
I'm struggling with hammering the curves and twisting the blade back and forth.
Scott's having a lot of trouble with his curves.
The only thing pushing right now that I've got to do is get it heat treated.
Lyle just quenched his blade.
All right.
I pulled the knife out, and to my amazement, it's straight. That's a big relief.
You have just 30 little minutes remaining to finish your work. I don't know why I said 30 little minutes.
They're little minutes.
They're little minutes.
They're faster.
They start shrinking.
Oh, yeah.
Scott's blade coming out of the oil. Fire!
Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, no.
What in the wide world of sports is he doing? Does he do that at home, you think? I hope he's in a concrete or metal building.
I pull it out, and I have a slight warp to it. But I have a few seconds to grab that blade, even though it's on fire, and bend it straight before it cools down. I have to finish it, and I was able to get very close to a perfectly straight blade.
You have 15 minutes to finish your work.
I quench it. I think I pulled out a little too early because it flamed up on me really quick. And I took my file, and I realized that it's biting right into the blade. And so that's just not gonna work.
Matt's in for his second quench.
I take it out, I go to scrape it, and it's just digging right into the steel.
So Matt's going in for a third quench.
Quenching for a third time is a little bit of a gamble because if you're not careful, you can really put some stress cracks onto the blade. I take it out, and it's got a little bit of a warp, but I know that I can work with this. It's fully hardened. I run the file. It's just scraping right off of it. I did it.
5 minutes, bladesmiths!
I think I can finish. I'm just gonna have to cut some corners. I put my blade in the oil. I don't hear any cracks. I don't hear any tings. I don't hear any, nightmares happening. I pull it out. It's on fire. That's not normal for me, so.
Oh, no. I don't want to see him do that.
Oh, Clarence. Clarence just dropped his whole blade in the water bucket and left it there.
It's going to be plenty hard. Hard as glass. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Is that a critical error, Jason?
Not a good idea because it could easily crack.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. Place your blades on top of the anvils. Bladesmiths, In just 3 hours, each of you has managed to forge a blade for your bayonet. Matt, you're up first. Please present your blade to the judges.
Well, Matt, your fuller's, I like the idea, but your fuller's a little off. It's traveled a little bit, but it is lean, it's light, it's a good thrusting shape, and if you get a good edge on here, it'll probably be a good cutter.
Thank you.
Scott, you're up. Please present your blade to the judges.
Scott, I think it was a really bold and brave move to work on something that it looked to me like you'd never fooled around with before.
Never made a curved blade before.
But you pulled it off. I mean, you got something there. I don't see any issues in the steel, and that's the most important thing to me.
Lyle, you're up.
Lyle, your blade looks great, other than you have some grinding left to do, and I'm sure you know that.
Right.
But overall, it looks like it's going to be a great shape for a bayonet. I think it's all going to come down to what type of a grind you put on this. Looks like you're setting up for a saber grind, but we'll see. But it should be a good thruster.
Thank you, sir.
Clarence, it's your turn.
Clarence, great design. It feels good as a weapon. One of the issues we may have with your blade is that you shocked it with water while it was still hot. And we always know that that brings about some possible surface cracks or a crack in the blade. But overall, though, the feel of your blade and watching you work, it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
That shape's fantastic, and with the lug on there and the receiver, it would look very nice the way this blade drops away from the barrel. But again, that quench, the metal doesn't react well to cooling that quickly. And what you wind up with are these multiple surface cracks, and brings into question the structure of this blade.
The judges have made a final decision. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Clarence, your blade did not make the cut. Jason will explain.
Clarence, forging was great, your grinding was great, your shape was beautiful. But when you quenched the blade and then threw it in the water, that caused a crack in the spine of your blade. It goes across the spine and back towards the handle. That critical failure is why we had to send you home.
Clarence, please surrender your blade.
I may not have won, but for the parts that I did well, I performed, better than I expected. This has been a great learning experience. So to the remaining contestants, I wish you the best. Good luck.